Before I go into that, this is like a summary, which I think is a snapshot that I always have in my mind each time I think of TAAT. Of course, we have an overall goal. And the key word here is to double. We have been doing a lot of things, but we want to double the crops, the livestock, and the fish productivity by using the technologies that we have today and then making sure that we reach more than 400 million smallholder farmers across Africa. I think that's a very simple and quick one that anybody can remember. At least I think of that. Let's double what we have been doing to see that we reach millions across Africa. Okay. What is also very important is that we have many commodities involved. When TAAT was formulated, we had about 18 listed. Eventually, we said, let's not be too ambitious. Let's take half of that and run with. And then along the way, we'll add them as we go. So right now, we are focused on about 9 commodities. And that's quite plenty. Then the next thing is that there are many African countries involved. When we started TAAT, we said, okay, it will be demand-driven. If you're interested to be involved, send a request to the bank and say, we want to be involved in this program. We end up with 28 countries. As we go into TAAT 2, the emergency food plan is coming on, and we open the way for the countries that say we really need help. And I think that number has increased. There are many... This is up, down, in front. Yeah, in front. Okay. Sorry about that. There are many implementing agencies. TAAT is not just a CGIAR program. Yes, the CGIAR dominates it by virtue of the fact that they have been doing a lot of research, and the President Additional saw it as a need, as a base, to say, let's take the research we are doing and make a difference. But there are other private sectors that are also involved in partnership with technologies that they've developed over the years. They're all welcome. We have more than 15 partners involved. We have very ambitious goals. I will not go into them, but it has to do with ending hunger, reducing malnutrition, increasing our import, processing more than what we have instead of sending raw material. All that long list, very ambitious goals. It's something that has not been done before in Africa. We've had a lot of small little projects here and there, but it is something that we urgently need. These are the footprints on the map that I've written there, highlighted at the 28 countries for TAAT 1 that we started. This will change as we go into TAAT 2. Oops, wrong direction. These are our partners that are deploying the technologies to farmers, because it's all about taking proven technologies and deploying them to farmers. These are the core TAAT compacts that are involved in the implementation of the TAAT program. The compacts deploying the technologies, I've listed the 9 that we're dealing with at the moment. I've listed the institutions that are involved or that are in charge. And then, of course, there's the enabler compacts, the one that make things happen. For these community compacts to deliver, there are some enablers. Somebody who will provide the fertilizer for wheat, for maize, for rice, irrigation that is needed. These are all enablers that will enable us to happen. So, of course, it's being managed by the Program Management Unit and the Clearinghouse. May I point out, unique, this is one of the unique programs that I know of within the bank that will have 2 coordination units handling it. Of course, the complexity says it all. TAAT has a vision and a rationale. Without going into too many words, the vision is basically to seek increase in agricultural productivity across Africa. We know that the technologies exist today more than they did before, but we need to get these technologies into the hands of millions of Africa. We know that there's a lot of research done in pockets in countries, but how can we harmonize this research across the regions so that what is produced in one country can go across the regions? Of course, so there's that regional approach. We have some specific targets. 40 million farmers by 2025, 120 million metric tons additional foodstuff to the African food basket. These are things that we see as our own vision. Again, wrong direction. We know that the CGIAR is heavily involved, and the key here is to bridge the research and the delivery within the CGIAR. There has been a lot of research done. We need to deliver it, and TAAT here is to bridge that gap that exists and make the difference. Yes, I say it's a very complex program, but this is a very important summary. If you can just remember this, when somebody asks you what TAAT is all about, you say there are 4 units that are going to make these things happen. At the apex of this is what we call the Project Steering Committee. It is made up of selected individuals from the national program, from the private sector, from governments, who can give us advice, who can give us direction to make sure we're on track. This was quite effective for the first 3 years, but in the last 2 years that we've been trying to formulate TAAT 2, we will also restructure the thinking of that group so that it's in line with that. So it's one of those groups that have not been as effective as it was in the initial years because we've had a couple of transition years. The second important group is the Project Management Unit, which is based at IIT Ibadan, in which I'm heading. Basically, they're in charge of all the fiduciary issues that have to do with the program. Yesterday, we had excellent fiduciary training programs, and that all has to do with what that particular unit handles. Then we have the compacts, who are the core. The large circle right there is the compacts, who are the core to make things happen. This is where things are happening. And it's made up of the research institutions, the national partners, the private sector, the regional organizations, and they are the ones that basically put this technology to make sure it happens. Again, uniquely, we have the clearinghouse that comes in to make sure that the technologies that are being introduced are proven, and they are also in charge of making sure the link of, they take this technology, play a brokerage role to link them to the national programs, to input it in their own agricultural transformation programs. IIT is the executing agency of TAAT, as we all know. It's important that we look at the targets that were set right at the beginning. Remember, this is an overview. We started with a baseline. What are the yields like across Africa? What are the productivity figures that we have? And remember the keyword that says to double. So marked in blue there, we basically say if maize, the average is 2 metric tons per hectare, we know that we can get up to 5. The base producer can go at 5, but in TAAT, let's just target and double it to 4. Lowland rice, 2. Let's go to 4, even though the base can get more than 5. Wheat, 1.5, 3.5. Let's go for 3. So we see the figures all there. It's very important that we are tracking the progress that we are making as we go. And the good news is, just at the end of TAAT 1, these figures are supposed to be made by 2025. But by 2022, we have already made and surpassed some of these goals that we set. So that is how good we feel that, hey, looking at those proven technologies to make sure that those targets are met, we have made them, and that's where TAAT 2 we are going to emphasize a lot on. There will be some demonstration in some cases, but the focus will be on upscaling. Let's take what we have proven, let's take what we have established and upscale it to millions and millions of farmers across Africa. We cannot do this alone. It's not just the bank, it's not just the CG Center, it's not just the private partners, not alone. It's a partnership. I want to emphasize this. TAAT is a partnership program. It's a partnership framework that we, as a TAAT ecosystem, we're just helping to coordinate it to make sure it happens. Get everybody involved. Get the bank involved with all the finances that we so badly need. Bring in extra partners like the Bill and Melinda Gates that you've heard are helping us to make sure that they co-fund the program with the AFDB. So it's a partnership program, and we'll make sure that we engage each partner through some sub-agreements where we'll have a clear undertaking, what will you do and how much will it cost you. So we cannot do it without partners. And the strength of of TAAT really lies in the ecosystem of these partners. I've summarized the 4 of them there. We have scientists and experts from the CGR and advanced institutions. Remember, there are about 10 CGs, there are about 3 advanced institutions. We have the private sector who is involved across the value chain with the seed production, with the inputs, with all the services that are needed to make things happen. We have the national program that are setting the agricultural priorities by incorporating some of these TAAT technologies that have been identified will make a difference. And of course, we have the farmers. We want to help them, and the government, the regional economic communities, to build resilient food system. This is the partnership that we want to engage. It has to be done in partnership, and that is what we are focusing on. So that was a quick overview of what TAAT is all about. It's about doubling productivity. We'll do it through partners. We'll have a setup in place to manage it and reduce the complexity so that we actually make it understandably. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes now to basically highlight some of the achievements. And the focus is we want to ensure that farmers are given the technology, the good agricultural practices, working with the national extension partners and scientists to ensure that these good agricultural practices trickle down to the farmers to make a difference. We've had a number of promotional outreach campaigns organized in the past 3 to 4 years. And as a picture can say, they say pictures speak more than 1,000 words. So the next few slides, I'm just highlighting some of those pictures to show where we are when it comes to that. I don't know why that thing is disturbing, but wheat in Sudan, if you have listened to President Adesina's speeches, whenever he's talking about agriculture in Africa, TAAT is his example, and you will always remember the revolution that has happened for wheat in Sudan. I don't have to say more than that. The numbers have been, the increase has been very astronomical, as you can see the graph, starting from very low productivity, very low yields, finding the magic in associated program to identify the wheat varieties that are heat tolerant and can be grown in the tropics. That made all the difference. TAAT now is to take those varieties and to do it beyond Sudan, as I will say. We also heard of wheat in Ethiopia. This is another example. Self-sufficiency in the coming season, and they're looking to export in the coming years. This, again, is very, very significant. And those are the things that we can highlight that over the first 3 years, we have taken technologies, some of the work, the hard work that has been done by the national programs involved to make sure that technologies are available to take them at the level at which we are taking them. I will talk about maize. And again, I just selected this one, remembering the African Emergency Food Production Facility in mind. There are some focus commodities, and you will get on them when we get to the details. Maize is about deploying improved climate-smart maize varieties to increase productivity. And right now, AATF is taking the lead. They're working with IITA, they're working with CIMIT. And they're looking at climate-smart varieties that are heat-tolerant, that are water-efficient, and making sure they are spread all across East and Southern Africa, where maize is a staple. This, again, is a key achievement that we think we have so far achieved. Okay, rice. Rice is the other important one. We all know of Nerica, Africa Rice taking the lead. We have Nerica all across Africa, and that is where the yields are happening. Remember, we say the average yield is 2 metric tons per hectare. We are targeting, let's double it to 4. But interestingly enough, within the TAAT technology, we have identified the hybrid rice that is going to revolutionize everything. Yes, we can go across with the traditional lowland, highland rice, but the hybrid rice is making a difference, 10 metric tons per hectare. More than double, more than almost close to, say, triple, or more than triple the base of 2. We're saying let's go to 4, but we have varieties capable of yielding 10 metric tons per hectare. This is a technology that TAAT has been promoting. Some variety has already been released in Senegal and is spreading to other countries. We want to see this within TAAT 2 go beyond Senegal to other countries. It is an important achievement, the high-yielding rice. Of course, I will not forget cassava. Cassava is like a food security for Africa. It may not have made it to the emergency food production plan. It was taken for granted. It's readily available. At least we don't import it from Ukraine or from Russia. So regardless of the war, this remains stable across Africa. We have made a lot of strides here. The issue has been it is grown in the rural areas, but processed in the urban areas. TAAT is looking at technologies to bridge that gap and make things happen. So I'm just highlighting here a very simple technology, the mobile processing units that we have come up with as a technology in TAAT. Basically, seeing how we can facilitate farm gate processing of cassava at the rural areas, and then take the semi-finished products to the factories that are all in the cities. We started this in Nigeria. It reduces post-harvest losses. It reduces a lot of environmental concerns, and we are now scaling it up across other countries in Africa. There are a lot of interest on this particular technology. As you can see, everything is put on a truck, assembled, basically a mini processing unit, cassava processing unit. And then we take it, open it up, and you can see the setup here. Time does not permit me, because when the demand becomes very high on the other end, then the productivity, and what do? We have another technology, semi-autotrophic hydroponics, that we are also promoting to make sure the productivity, we are making sure that we are producing whatever will fit into this mobile unit. Okay, I decided to highlight those 4 or really 5 essential commodities. Missing here is soybean. Soybean is one of the other important commodity that we're focusing on within the emergency food plant facility, because it has to do with oil. We want to look at how to extract the vegetable oil. We are getting it from canola, we are getting it from sunflower. We don't produce very much of that across Africa. So we have introduced soybean. It wasn't in TAAT 1, that's why I have not highlighted. But to just make sure, what do our figures say? I've shown you a few images. But at the end of the day, it's the figures that actually say it. It's about foundation seed, thousands of metric tons. It's about fingerlings in fisheries, millions of fingerlings that have been produced and basically distributed across the country. Basic seed produced, thousands of metric tons again. You look at numbers of cassava cuttings produced. Again, the SAR technology, where we produce the mini plantlets, and they rapidly multiply within. We have millions there. And of course, sweet potato vine cuttings. We have the numbers. I just want to highlight those numbers that we are monitoring what we are doing. In addition to that focus on seed, we are also keeping track of all the promotional outreach campaigns that we are organizing. Also the functional multi-stakeholder platforms that we are making to make sure that we reach the growth that we're working in. Of course, the policy compact, how do we influence government policies, the laws, the regulations that make us work? That enabling environment that we need very badly in each country. We have also made gains on that. So I just thought I should flash those figures. There is the technology brokerage process, the clearinghouse. Some of you will ask, what do they do exactly? The clearinghouse is the unit that will take all these proven technologies. They help us to basically take those technologies, profile them, bundle them into packages that we can immediately apply to the commodities to achieve what we are looking for. Then in another stage, they basically come up with toolkits which they validate and adjust them so that they're being used to fit their purpose. These technology toolkits are then integrated with country programs. Remember, the very important role of the clearinghouse is to make sure they help the countries to develop winning proposals which will be funded to help them scale their technologies. And of course, the project impact and transformation is part of what the clearinghouse does. We have a list of these TAAT technologies. They are present in all details. We have online copies. We have some hard copies. They are readily made available to anybody that needs them. They are customized to specific audience needs. They are stored in a database, and we have them available to share with anybody that can basically use them. The TAAT framework at the moment is moving into the next frontier with TAAT 2. And the director has already captured in a very nutshell what he's looking forward to. Increased productivity, deploying the modern and proven technology to farmers. We did a lot of demonstration with our national partners. As we go into TAAT 2, we need to link up directly with farmers and scale these technologies. We have demonstrated them. We've tested them. Let's scale them. That is what we're going to TAAT 2. Let's enhance the delivery infrastructure that is in place. There are a lot of weak extension systems. How can we help to strengthen them to make sure that they can start delivering? And of course, build capacity of public and private partners. The future of TAAT is all within the partnership. I'm ending on that partnership note. We need to build their capacity to take these technologies to scale and deliver. And of course, we'll scale the delivery. We cannot do it ourselves. We'll scale it through country partners. So, finally, we are working together to set forth a pathway for resilience in transforming African agriculture. And I want to thank you very much for giving me your undivided attention. Thank you very much.